screen like sniped me.
Yep.
With delay.
Yep.
To find me.
Yep.
To catch up to me. To like give me stuff, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, you're gonna need these, so I got them for you." And I'm like,
dude,
thank you.
Yeah.
Super nice community. So
I want you. We're gonna segue off of Twitch because we've been talking about it for a while. But I want, and I know Snooey is excited for this too. I want to talk about Final Fantasy 14 because I know that you're super into it, and I know Goatus has played it. And I just like I want to have the energy in me to play this game. So I want you, the most energetic and awesome person I know, just tell me why I should play this game. Like I want to hear it.
So I'm gonna start off with telling you why you shouldn't play this game.
Okay.
Ooh, reverse psychology.
Yeah, reverse psychology. So this is everything bad about Final Fantasy 14. The beginning of the game, the leveling experience is one of Actually, I take that back. It's not one of the worst, but it's pretty bad in terms of like compared to like Black Desert Online, where it's high action, it's super fast paced, right? And even if you only got 1 or 2 abilities, you're entertained because you're doing a lot of flashy stuff. Whereas on Final Fantasy, your first few abilities looks really boring and really stale, and it doesn't have nothing fancy, right? And it's super monotonous, right? And then you get to the story. And the story for the first 50 levels is nothing but world building. That's all it is. It's literally just explaining the politics of the world, how systems work, what are the opinions and the stances of leaders, who do you stand with, right? And you're basically starting off as like an adventurer or like a mercenary, and you slowly build yourself up to like getting pulled into this hero discussion, and oh my god, he's amazing, he's phenomenal, and you're a hero, right? The other bad thing about this game is if you don't have friends, the story or the leveling experience can be so boring, you're going to want to turn off the game and not play it anymore.
So if I don't have friends, I don't want to play this game.
To an extent. That's everything bad about Final Fantasy 14. Now I'm going to tell you why this game is worth the grind.
I'm going to, really quick, hang on. I'm going to let you finish, okay? I'm going to Kanye you here.
Okay.
There is one big thing that you missed. Like the worst part of Final Fantasy 14.
Ooh.
The Square Enix launcher and system is absolute garbage.
Really? Wait, go off on that.
Making a Square account is like borderline cancerous.
Okay, I agree with that. There's so much security behind it.
I'm half memeing here, but it was just like, if you've ever done a Square account before, it is an awful experience. Yeah, it's terrible.
I will say, if you're under the age of like 13, you're gonna have a really tough time trying to make an account because not because of like age restriction, but like it's so complicated and convoluted. Like you're gonna be like, wait, so can I not make an account, or like what's stopping me? Like there's a few roadblocks that can make it a little frustrating. In terms of like lag or stuff like that, we have no server lag anymore, which is nice. I'm gonna sell you on this game now. I'm done with talking bad about the game because that's honestly like that's the only bad stuff. So if you don't have friends, the leveling experience can be kind of boring, and honestly, you're not gonna want to play the game anymore. But this is the great thing about this. Everything you hate about the League of Legends community, we don't have that in Final Fantasy. It is one of the most welcoming communities I have ever encountered in any video game. You cannot have any friends, and I promise you, if you ask in like what's called like the area chat where everyone can see for help, 9 people will reply to you and be like, what do you need help with? This is what you should do. You want me to come over to you so I can help you out with these quests? Like, it blows my mind how friendly everyone is. I honestly don't get it to this day, and I've been a part of the community for like 9 years.
Guys, my game's lagging. Can I come over to your house and like help you out? Like,
yeah, no, seriously. Like, oh, okay, you're lagging. That's cool. We can just chat the night away, and we'll have a good time like that. One thing you missed is relatively bad voice acting of A Realm Reborn. So the reason why the story isn't the greatest is because of the fact that originally when the game came out, it was trash, it was garbage, it was super buggy, it was called 1.0, the game doesn't exist anymore. New director came in, revamped the entire game. It's really good, it's really great, but the world building that's super boring at first, when you get to the juicy stuff at level 50 to 51, it all makes sense and it gets you sucked into the story. And now you feel like you're this person that's lived in the world for ages, right? And you're so hooked that you have to know what happens next, right? And there's so much emotional impact and weight with the game that every little thing that happens to a character, since they've built the characters so many times and with such little monotonous things, you feel when a drastic thing happens around level 50 to 51, right? Combat picks up extremely fast after level 52. Think of it like, yo, King, real quick, I'm gonna watch you. This is gonna be so boring. The combat is as fast as this. You can use an ability every 2 to 3 seconds, and that's it. So I want you to get the cup you just drank out of, that little bottle, and take a sip, and then put it down, and then take another sip 2 seconds afterwards. And imagine you pressing that many buttons that slow repeatedly all day long. Like, it's boring as hell, right? But then you get to level 52 and your fingers don't stop. If you think League is fast paced on like how fast you gotta, yeah, you see how like, look at that.
I'll go for it again.
That's so, that can get so monotonous. But at level 52, it gets so fast paced that if you think League, you gotta be fast on the reflexes, Final Fantasy makes League look ridiculously slow, right? Yeah. Like, I find the combat in Final Fantasy more entertaining than like getting into a League match. Near, like,
so
52.
You ever play like World of Warcraft or anything?
I did.
The monotonous thing doesn't actually bother me because, like, I guess in like newer WoW, it's a little different. Like, you're spamming buttons, but like in Burning Crusade or like Vanilla, which is what everyone's excited for right now, that sounds to me like what you're describing. Like, I don't know.
That's literally what it is. If you can get through that, like dude,
playing a warrior and waiting for Rage to use heroic strike up until like level 40 or whatever until you actually get like a real ability. It was like, man, this is something. Like,
yeah, I bet. The other thing is, like, you know, there's classes and jobs and other like MMO. Usually, you have to make a character for each and every single class and.
That's one thing. Yeah, you cut out, but what he was gonna say is, yeah, you can switch jobs.
Yeah, on one character, which is it's amazing. Clean UI, which is awesome. And
very clean.
Very clean. It's so nice. Most MMOs have
trash
classic
UI. Hype, Skippy says.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it, but honestly, Final Fantasy, in my opinion, is just it's so good.
So what did the expansion add to this game then that like pushed it over? Because I know before
red mages.
I know before it was a good game, but I like after the expansion was released, it seems like everybody is like, this is the best MMO out right now. Like, that's what people are saying.
The first expansion, Heavensward, made the story go from it's a good MMO story to that's a great story for a MMO, right? Stormblood, it was all right. Shadowbringers brings all the story elements you went through in the first 2 expansions and amplifies it so much that you're like, it invokes every emotion in your body to the point where like you're saying by the end of it, this is one of the greatest stories I have ever watched on a movie, I have ever played in an RPG game, period. I thought Avengers Endgame was going to be the greatest finale I've ever seen to like a series, and Shadowbringers killed that.
Wow.
Like, yeah, seriously. And that's a lot for me to say.
That's a bold statement.
No, seriously. That's a lot for me to say because I love Spider-Man to death, and I grew up to like one of my biggest inspirations on how to talk to people, right? So for me to say that it like Snowy says that Shadowbringers broke my effing heart, dude. Oh man, I'm still like half depressed, half hype from the finale of that expansion. Like, oh dude, it's so good.
Kaylee says spoilers. I'm not sure if she's talking about Avengers or Shadowbringers, but
I'm gonna go on a limb and assume she's talking about Avengers. Look, if you haven't seen Avengers by now, I'm sorry. I agree with the creator. You just have to live with spoilers.
I'm with Goatus here, and I have not seen Avengers yet. And if it gets spoiled for me, then it gets spoiled for me at this point. Like,
you know, I haven't seen
anything. I don't think I did, but maybe I did. I apologize.
I have not seen a single Avenger movie.
Oh, dude,
not one.
That's
in fact, the only Marvel movies I've ever seen, is the very original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, and both Guardians of the Galaxy. That's it.
Have you guys ever played Last of Us?
No,
yes, I have. That's a good game.
Okay, how much did you like the story?
I thought the story was wonderful. So I never played The Last of Us. I watched 4 or 5 different friends play through the game in its entirety. It has a wonderful story. I don't like the gameplay. I don't like the over the shoulder like third person shooter. It's not my game, but
1000% agree.
I like watching it.
I thought Last of Us was like on my top 5 like biggest favorite stories, like by far. I think Shadowbringers beats it by like a long shot. It's not even a competition.
So my question here, though, because I know King is going to come at you with his questions from an MMO standpoint,
right?
And I played WoW since it launched in 04. Like,
yep,
I played vanilla when vanilla was vanilla. But more than anything, more than any other series, I don't know that there's a bigger Final Fantasy fan than me. How much experience do you have in the Final Fantasy genre? Or is it just 14?
I played every single Final Fantasy except for World of Final Fantasy, and I think it was Final Fantasy Advanced Tactics or like a second Tactics that came out.
But you did play the original Tactics.
I did.
Me and you are going to be best friends.
Oh, yes, I love it, dude. Oh, man. It was tough for me to say this. I'm not going to spoil, but Final Fantasy VIII was my favorite story-wise.
That's okay. I actually not far off of you there.
Nice. And
as a game,
Shadowbringers finale beat that. Like the finale is what like pushed it to the top. Before that, I was like, okay, Shadowbringers is like one of the greatest stories in Final Fantasy, like top 4, right? The finale like skyrocketed it.
So it's like, did you beat the game then, or like how does it work? It's an MMO. It's like never finished, right? Like
you beat the game like you beat WoW.
Yeah, pretty much. So what makes Final Fantasy better than WoW is they have a consistent content schedule. So every 3 months, they're constantly bringing new content you can do, right? And King, you said this before, how like you don't have too much time to like dedicate to an MMO.
Yeah.
The nice thing about Final Fantasy is they make it super easy for you to catch up if you miss a patch or 2. You don't have to be there every single month. You could like be gone for 3 to 4 months. I've done this before. Come back, and within like 2 weeks, you're caught up with everybody else.
Okay.
So I have played. I have excessively played Final Fantasy 1 through 10.
Nice.
I've never played 11.
Okay.
11 was the other MMO, right?
Right.
Okay, I never played 11. I'm actually just now playing through 12 because I skipped 12. I never played it. Okay. I just bought a Switch, so I'm playing it on the Switch right now.
Wait, what? You can do that?
Yeah, it's on the Switch now. So I bought Final
my
Fantasy
God, mind blown. I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah. By the way, best part of having a kid was justifying purchasing a Switch. So I was like, I'm not gonna be on the computer a lot. Like the baby's gonna be downstairs.
Right.
So I need a Switch. So I bought a Switch and I bought Final Fantasy 12 for it.
You should buy a GoPro too and start streaming with it.
Logan Lover.
How's it going?
So right now I'm simultaneously playing through 12 and 15.
Got it.
I was scared of 15. I was very scared of 15.
I don't blame you.
A lot of what I read. You didn't like it?
When the game first came out, I liked it, but it was unfinished. Now they've added so much stuff to it that it's a finished game, and I think it's really good. It's a really good game.
Lot of the things that people complain about 15 have not bothered me so far. Right. I've really enjoyed 15. I've really enjoyed 12.
Yep.
I played through 13. I wasn't a big fan of 13 or 13-2. But I played them. I've probably put more time into tactics than any. If you took the top 5 people that put time into tactics, I guarantee it'd be less than. I played tactics so damn much.
Nice.
I've played 14. So I bought 14 not that long ago. Okay. I got it on sale with all the expansions, except for I haven't bought the newest one yet.
Okay, got it.
As a MMO fan, I will say there's a couple of things that irked me. And so I know your starting zone is based on your class.
Yep.
1, character creation, far and away the best character creation in any MMO. Better than Black Desert, because I played Black Desert.
Really?
It's good.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's way better than Black Desert.
Fascinating. I've never...
Infinitely better than WoW. WoW
100% agree.
Yep. It's embarrassing.
WoW's character creation? Or?
What's that?
Are you talking about WoW's character creation?
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
It's like you get like 4 different presets to like choose
Yeah,
from.
it's like build your torrent out of 8 options and 32 possibilities.
Hey, we
It's
have
like,
3 different options for horns. Which ones do you want?
Yeah, and like
Yeah,
yeah, and it's ridiculous. Like, they should be embarrassed by how bad that is.
I agree.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 14. So the first character I made was a conjurer.
Nice.
Because I was like, well, I've got a lot of MMO experience. I got a ton of Final Fantasy experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm normally a guy that plays like a melee or a healer, anyways. Like one of those two. Just kind of weird mix. So I decided to like do a conjurer. Graphically, it's the prettiest MMO out there.
Agreed.
There is not an MMO that is prettier than Final Fantasy 14. My first time riding back on a chocobo to the city, and like you could just like pan around, like see these mountains, and like obviously Final Fantasy. If you've never played Final Fantasy, you're not familiar with the soundtracks from Nobuo Uematsu.
Dude. We have the best soundtracks.
Oh
in the game.
God, there's not a better soundtrack. Okay,
seriously.
If you have Spotify, they just released 6 different Final Fantasy playlists, like uplifting, crying, fight, theme, like a bunch of different ones.
Oh yeah.
Go listen to them. I've been listening for like 72 hours straight.
I listen to the 10 soundtrack a lot. I know that's not
the
10.
Like individually, the games are good, but then this they did these like genre ones, which is really good. So like you have this epic fucking music with this beautiful background.
Yep.
The combat is exceptionally boring in the beginning.
Oh, 100%.
Very, very boring.
I agree.
If people don't know, like you're trying to compare it to like WoW, I think it's like the easiest thing to do.
Yep.
Remember when Battle for Azeroth came out and everybody was freaking out because they increased the global cooldown?
Yes.
And they added a bunch of stuff to global. Like the game pace is so slow. The combat is so slow.
Yep.
14 is worse.
It's a lot worse.
It's worse than that. So if like that change from Legion to BFA really bothered you, like know that before you go into Final Fantasy 14. That aside, the only other thing that really irks me is immersion. There's a lot of invisible walls in Final Fantasy 14.
Yes.
If I want to jump off a fucking cliff to my death, then let me.
Yes.
Sometimes the game kind of prevents you from doing that.
I hate that.
It's a small quirk, but it's my quirk. The community. I streamed Final Fantasy 14 once. I had people like in my chat, super helpful. They made characters. On my server to like catch up to me to help me.
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
Really the nicest community you will ever meet.
100%.
When you were talking about the community, like all I could think of was like this guy was in my chat, and I feel awful. I can't remember their name. Was in my chat, like screen like sniped me. With the delay. To find me. To catch up to me. To like give me stuff, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, you're gonna need these, so I got them for you." And I'm like,
dude,
thank you. Like, super nice community. So if you've been on the hunt for a new MMO, obviously there is a subscription cost to it. Well, what does it cost per month? $9?
It costs $12.99.
$12.99.
Yep.
If you're thinking about maybe not do it, it was me, Goatus. No, you just follow me around, Jordan. That's like a totally different thing. If you're thinking about a new MMO, especially if you're a big fan of Final Fantasy, it plays like a very traditional Final Fantasy with the classes. They just added Samurai and Red Mage, right?
Yes.
Those are the 2 new ones.
Yep. And they just added Gunbreaker and Dancer.
Yeah. I love Dancer, by the way. I love support classes.
Dude, this game, they did it justice.
So sorry. Me and Diego are done. We're done fanboying over here. Go ahead, King.
I was going through the browse. Like 75% of these streamers are e-girls, which is like, okay, we support e-girls. I just think it's funny. The browse on Twitch or for Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
No, there's
one thing I will say, I'm a sales pitch you on like the content creation side, dude. For whatever strange reason, even though Final Fantasy has been out for multiple years, the content creation scene on YouTube is not that saturated. Like the ones that are big and the ones that are known are well known, and they have a great community. But like compare that to League, or compare that to like what's a small game that's doing decent or that's consistent? I'm trying to think.
Fortnite. Fortnite's a pretty small game.
For content creation, pretty much anything that's ever been popular.
Dead by Daylight, I think, is one of those.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight.
Dungeons,
there aren't that many people doing content on Final Fantasy, so it's so easy, in my opinion, for you to come into the content creation scene. And if you have quality, which you do, King, and you actually love the game, like there is a space for you to enter in that for content creation.
Here's like the thing that I always think too. I've been thinking this for a while, but and this isn't like to contradict anything that you said either. I think that's pretty much every game that isn't like the top like 3. You know, the people don't understand. They're like,
I can see that.
They're like, well, I don't. They're like, well, I can't make better videos than like this top League creator. And it's like, dude, you don't have to go to literally any other game and start making videos on that game, because I guarantee you. I was thinking the same thing for something that I'm really into, right? Is Twitch Sings. If you go to YouTube and you look up Twitch Sings,
right?
The only content on here is literally just large streamers doing it. Like that's all it is. And like if you can make like actual like authentic content for Twitch Sings on YouTube, I don't know how you would do it. You have to find something cool. But like if you did it, dude, like that would be awesome for you. Nobody else is doing it.
If you can find a game that's like even ironically popular, I don't do a lot of YouTube, and I don't do a lot of YouTube because I have like crazy family members that stalk me on YouTube, unfortunately. So like when I do YouTube videos, I have to make them unlisted and I'll like share them to friends. But
that's fair.
I did a YouTube video of Totally Accurate Battleground Simulator when it came out, and it was like I have like 12 YouTube videos. Okay, they're all like Heroes of the Storm related. I did like this one like funny 20-second totally accurate game like clip. It's got like 2,000 watches, like and like a ton of comments and stuff, and I'm like, what is it? But it was like nobody else was doing content for it, and like people wanted to know about the game. So when they searched it, like my stupid ass video came up.
You're 20 seconds up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like such a dumb video, and it's like comically bad on purpose, but like it was the only thing that was coming up, evidently, when people were searching it.
Yeah,
so
that's funny. But yeah, no, I want to take a look at it, and maybe I will take a look at it. I'm really feeling where the content I've been working on recently, so I don't really know if I'd make videos on it. And if I did, I'd probably make another channel for it, just because I'm trying to keep my channel segmented to one topic. But
that's fair.
No, but I made World of Warcraft videos when Legion was released, I think.
Nice.
And they were doing all right. Like I was getting some decent views on them because the niche that I was doing is I was playing an Elemental Shaman, and nobody played Elemental Shaman.
Yeah, not at the time.
And even beyond people who did not play Elemental Shaman, nobody made videos about playing an Elemental Shaman. So
that's great.
I started making videos. I was like, hey guys, I'm doing okay damage right now. And I was like, hey, does anyone like want to know how to do this? Because I'll tell you this, because everyone went off of Icy Veins, which is like the website that'll tell you how to build your character to do the most damage. Icy Veins was wrong. They were flat out wrong on how to do the most damage. And I figured that out because I was just testing out stuff. And I was like, dude, I was like, hey, Icy Veins is wrong. Do this. And that video got a lot of views. It got like 2,000 views or something, which felt good.
Dang, okay.
2,000's a lot for me, but yeah.
No, that's a lot if you're a brand new content.
Yeah. Just to be
super consistent.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we switch off of 14 and wrap this podcast up, I did notice in the patch notes something, because I'm still fairly new in 14.
Right.
Like I haven't progressed into any kind of, I'm not even in mid game, let alone late game.
Yeah.
8-man raids. 8-man raids sounds amazing.
Dude, it's
if you've ever tried to put together raids in WoW, and King and I can, we can attest to this. We've done this before with
That's how we became friends.
Yeah, that's actually how we became friends. Putting together raids with 10 to 20 people is like
insanely hard.
Impossibility.
Yep.
Are there a lot of are all raids 8-man?
So you have the Savage content, which is like the super difficult raids, right? That's like you really know your stuff, right? Those are 8-man raids, and then they have like a normal difficulty for that. Sometimes it pertains to the story, sometimes it doesn't. But then you also have alliance raids. Those usually have nothing to do with the story. They're just there to like have some extra content. And those mimic World of Warcraft's like 24-man raids, which is what it is for there. But that's not like what everybody does. What everybody lives for are those 8-man raids. And oh man, those are some serious fights.
Like 8-man raids to me, like I've put together 8-person TFT groups.
Yep.
To go full circle here.
Yeah.
Like that tie-in? Good. Like 8-person TFT groups. And it's like, it's so much more fun when it's like a small, intimate group. Yeah, even 100%. If you're getting your ass kicked
100%
harder, it's way more fun.
Yeah, what makes Final Fantasy great is we got the community that wants to help you too on top of that. So only 8 people needed, and everybody's like, yeah, I can help you out. Great combo.
Dorn wouldn't even know what to do with himself. I did that with my hunter. I pressed like 4 spells. Yeah. And you aggroed everything too, by the way, Dorn. I'll have you remember.
Yeah.